Sanjay Gaikwad, an MLA of the Eknath Shinde-led Shiv Sena, has made headlines after a video of him assaulting a staff member of the MLA canteen in Mumbai went viral. The MLA from Buldhana slapped and punched the canteen staffer, whose name is Yogesh Kutram. The lawmaker later told NDTV that he does not regret what he did and that his earlier complaints about the food quality fell on deaf ears. The viral video, in fact, came up in the Maharashtra Council today, and responding to the opposition's questions, Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis said that such conduct by an MLA undermines the House's decorum and urged the chair to take necessary action against the MLA, who is from the ruling alliance. Here's a report, and then I bring in the guests.
Another VIP thug caught doing what they do and think can get away. A ruling party MLA, Sanjay Gaikwad, caught on camera slapping, punching and kicking a server at the Amdar Nivas, all allegedly over being served stale dal. This is not an isolated incident, but another in the long list of shameful behavior by political leaders of all colors and hue. There was the MNS worker beating shopkeeper in Thane, UBT MP slapping a shopkeeper, MNS leader's son drunk and naked abusing a woman, and the MNS workers breaking a toll plaza. Now, this MLA, in arrogance of power, beating a worker at Canteen. And just like other VIP thugs, he brags and remains remorseless.
मैं विधायक भी हूँ और मैं योद्धा भी हूँ। जब सब भाषा में समझाने के बाद में कोई समझता नहीं है तो बाला साहब ठाकरे जी ने हमको भाषा सिखाई भी है, जिसका इस्तेमाल मैंने किया है। मुझे कोई मलाल नहीं है, मुझे कोई ये विषय में ऐसा महसूस नहीं होता है कि मैंने कोई गलत किया है।
Leaders from the opposition have strongly condemned this incident, urging the government to act against its own MLA.
इसके ऊपर एक्शन होना चाहिए। ऐसे गरीबों को मारने का अधिकार नहीं है किसी को। सरकार ने एक्शन लेना चाहिए। कानून हाथ में किसी को लेने का अधिकार नहीं है। कानून सबके लिए समान होता है।
एथिक्स नाम की कोई चीज़ होती है। एमएलए ने कैसा रहना चाहिए, कैसा बिहेव करना चाहिए। आज जिस तरह से दादागिरी चल रही है, जिस तरह से मार रहे, इस तरह की दादागिरी ये मुख्यमंत्री सहेंगे क्या? अब देखना है मुख्यमंत्री क्या कार्रवाई करते हैं।
Surprisingly, some in the ruling alliance seemed more concerned about the quality of the food than the violence in itself.
जानकारी हुई, आमदार निवास में बहुत ही घटिया दर्जे का खाना दिया गया। बार-बार विधायक जी ने उस कैंटीन के ओनर को, कॉन्ट्रैक्टर को बार-बार बताया। उसके बाद भी शायद उसने अपने रवैये को सुधारा नहीं। तो शायद कभी-कभी उसकी वजह से विधायक जी ने जो गुस्सा है, वो गुस्सा ऐसे तरीके से उसने व्यक्त किया होगा, ऐसा मुझे लगता, मुझे पूरी जानकारी नहीं है।
Sustained NDTV campaign has once again forced the top leaders in the government to react.
यातनं सगळ्या आमदारांबद्दल लोकांमध्ये भावना चुकीची जाते। आपण कुठेतरी सत्तेचा गैरवापर करतो किंवा आपण सगळे आमदार म्हणून आपलं कंडक्ट योग्य नाही, अशा प्रकारचं लोकांमध्ये या संदर्भातली भावना जाते। आणि म्हणून निश्चितपणे मला असं वाटतं की अतिशय गंभीर बाब आहे। आपण आणि माननीय अध्यक्ष या दोघांनी याचा कॉग्निझन्स घ्यावा आणि या संदर्भात काय पुढील कारवाई करायची ते आपण करावी।
After the Chief Minister, it was the Deputy Chief Minister and MLA Gaikwad's boss, Eknath Shinde, who condemned his behavior.
वॉमिटिंग हो गया और इसलिए उन्होंने गुस्से में आकर वो मारपीट की है, उसका मैं समर्थन नहीं करूंगा। अगर जिधर गलत होता है उसके ऊपर कानूनी कार्रवाई हो सकती है, लेकिन मारपीट करना ये उचित नहीं है।
While there has been no action against this MLA yet, the administration was quick to dispatch an FDA team to investigate the food complaint. Yet another act of a politician, this time a lawmaker, abusing his power at the expense of a common man. The government has condemned the act, of course, but the question remains on whether it will walk the talk and hold its own accountable. With camera person Mahesh Halwai and with inputs from Radhika Ramaswamy and Abhishek Avasthi, this is Anuj Raide reporting for NDTV from Mumbai.
And joining me now is Deepak Kesarkar, who is a senior leader of the Shiv Sena and former cabinet minister of Maharashtra. Mr. Kesarkar, I appreciate your time. This hooliganism or high-handedness seems to be spreading across parties, sir.
It is true, but it cannot be compared with what is happening on the streets. Actually, he lost his control, which is bad. As an MLA, he is a responsible person. But within the premises of the assembly, it is the speaker's authority to give a punishment. So his explanation would be called for, and I'm sure the speaker of the assembly will take appropriate action.
But Mr. Kesarkar, there seems to be some kind of sense among the lawmakers and in general politicians in Maharashtra that they can get away with high-handedness. That there is no accountability when it comes to them, because if you look at it, MNS has justified the actions of its party workers, so has Uddhav Thackeray Sena leaders.
We have never did this. There was previously one incident when MLA from Vasai Virar had beaten some of the officers. Their action was taken against him. Although he is a member of our party, the law will take its own course. The speaker will investigate in the matter and he will take a necessary action. And I'm sure that he will also issue guidelines to the MLAs regarding their behavior within the premises of assembly. This incident has, of course, happened in MLA hostel. So I am not really aware whether this will be handled by the Speaker of the Assembly or not. But he is the ultimate authority about all the MLAs.
Yes.
And I'm sure he will give proper
But Mr. Kesarkar, you know, what is becoming evident, and I asked that question to you earlier as well, of certain degree of that confidence, or should I say overconfidence, that they can get away by showing this kind of high-handedness. Of course, the other one, which is playing out on the streets, was about Marathi versus non-Marathi. Now, this is slapping a worker in a canteen, and then Sanjay Gaikwad says that he has no regret.
You will have to understand one thing, that you must have heard Sudhir Mungattiwarji speaking about this. He is a very senior MLA and member of our house. So number of times he himself has given complaints, but no cognizance was taken. But if no cognizance is taken, there is a committee who looks after MLA hostels. So naturally, they should have approached that committee. Instead, taking law in your own hand is a wrong thing, and nobody has supported this. So you cannot compare this with what is happening on the streets. What is happening on the streets is altogether different. He lost the control. Whatever he has done is wrong. We condemn that. But at the same time, we feel that if some improvement is to be happen in the food services, that will also simultaneously go ahead. So this is not that the speaker has not taken action against the MLA.
All right.
They take the action. If you remember, there was an incident in Air India flight, and that MP was barred from traveling in any of those flights. So similar punishment are given, and it is example that number of times proper action is taken. Here also action would be taken, because Maharashtra is a very cultured state. Such things never happen. I think the last incidents we realized was somewhere around 7 to 8 years back, if I remember properly. So within 8 years, there was no such incident.
Okay.
But this is very unfortunate and we regret it.
All right, Deepak Kesarkar, I appreciate your time. Rohit Chandravarkar, a quick word from you. It's incident a day. We continue to put the spotlight on Maharashtra. Extremely shameful conduct of MLAs, of MNS workers, one after the other, and that sheer brazenness which they justify their own actions.
I'm absolutely appalled. I mean, what else can anybody say? There are standard replies that are coming. We'll look into the incident. Law will take its own course. That is standard, and that's happened so many times. But the next thing we saw from somebody like Mungantiwar, very senior MLA, was that, he justified this, saying that the food is bad. Remember, these MLAs are supposed to execute development projects all over Maharashtra. They are lawmakers. They're supposed to create new laws. They are the final authority in everything. And over some food issue, they have to resort to this kind of violence. So what kind of signal are they giving? I'm just shocked that, in a state like Maharashtra, which we discussed earlier also, a very progressive, modern, industrialized state, we have this kind of medieval thing that we are watching. These visuals are really shocking. Maria, one thing I want to point out is, these series of incidents that are happening in Maharashtra now, whether it is Raj Thakre's men slapping somebody repeatedly or today's incident, this is getting exposed because of modern technology, social media, and everybody having a mobile camera in their hands. And these MLAs and these politicians simply are not waking up to the reality that this is the modern world where everything they do may be caught on camera and they might land in trouble. They are so confident, like you mentioned, they are so confident that nothing will happen in terms of legal action, but at least all these things getting caught on a mobile camera and this becoming a national issue is something great. And I'm just glad that you have taken up this issue. Raj Thakre just a couple of days ago at a rally told all his supporters that they perhaps they can go to some extent, but don't record it on video. So, these people need to wake up. I mean, is this some kind of tribalism or what? I mean, these visuals are really, I'm really taken aback in a plush South Mumbai, Nariman Point area where the Vidhan Bhavan is, India's priciest real estate zone. And, next to that, very close to that Vidhan Bhavan, we have the MLA hostel. You have this kind of a thing happening over food. And you can imagine what must be happening in rural areas of Maharashtra or, places where the law enforcement can't even reach. I'm just shocked.
It got caught on camera. Perhaps this action would have been done by the MLA in the past as well. It may not have been recorded, or similar actions in other parts. So thank you so much for joining us, Rohit Chandravarkar. And joining us now is Member of Parliament of the Shiv Sena Uddhav Thackeray faction, Priyanka Chaturvedi. Ms. Chaturvedi, appreciate your time here on NDTV. Today, it is the case of Shinde-led Shiv Sena, where the party MLA, Sanjay Gaikwad, is at the center of a controversy. My question is that it's certainly running across parties, this kind of vandalism, perhaps a sense that they can get away with. Is there enough political will among parties, across parties, to condemn these actions?
No, actually, these are two different issues here. The person who is beating the canteen worker is an elected representative of Maharashtra. He's an MLA in the assembly who comes with a whole lot of responsibility, and that responsibility and the maturity should have come from him. And it's also different simply because Eknath Shinde's faction has been repeatedly indulging in this. If you remember, when Kunal Kamra's stand-up comedian had made a joke, cracked a joke about Mr. Shinde, their entire set of people had gone and broken down that studio which was a means of livelihood for several people, several other stand-up comedians. And they did not just stop at that, they were felicitated as well. Did not stop at that, they moved a privilege motion in the assembly against the stand-up comedian. And today that privilege motion, yesterday it was cleared. So they have gone on a rampage, and even now we haven't heard a single word of condemnation coming from either the chief minister or the deputy chief minister, who happens to be the president of this party. So clearly, I mean, when you are in government, there are some separate rules and some questions asked of the government. While if it was a member of the opposition, we would have breathless coverage as well as debates on that particular issue. So yes, when you ask me about political will, I think political will, especially with, you know, brazenly going ahead with your power and power hunger, is pretty obvious that it is missing where accountability is concerned in this particular case.
But NDTV has been raising this issue since the morning as well, ever since that footage came out, ma'am. So my question then is, of course, about accountability mechanism. It will be different for those who are in power than those who are in opposition. But what is expected certainly of politicians is that when it is about hooliganism, when it is about them targeting innocent people on the streets, only because they may or may not know Marathi, how is this really assertion of cultural identity or linguistic identity?
So, okay, one more thing which I did not differentiate between what happened with regards to this MLA vis-a-vis what happened with regards to a language issue. Firstly, it wasn't a language issue, it was an issue of disrespect. Out of 12 crore people in Maharashtra, over 1.5 crore come from other states. In this particular case, there was an incident which went out of hand, and there was a law and order mechanism which was followed. And these people were detained and they were booked under some sections which were bailable, and they got the bail. So they followed the process because they had flouted the law and order situation in the state of Maharashtra. In this particular case, you will not even have an FIR against this man who is an elected representative. In this particular case, there will be no one to speak up against him. In this particular case, he will get away scot-free. So let's understand these issues here. An elected representative gets away by hitting the person violently, a worker violently, and he also goes on television channel to claim that what he did was the language he should have spoken, as an MLA. Again, I've also given you a past history of what this party has done. In this particular case, yes, there was an issue with regards to disrespect to a language which is a classical language, disrespect to the state where they are making their money and they have got these opportunities, and it went out of hand, which was adhered. The cops managed to file an FIR and also went through the entire process of detaining them and releasing them. So I'm not trying to justify anything, I'm just trying to make you aware of the fact and the difference that we see in two such issues.
Is there some kind of quiet tolerance when it suits the narrative? Because if you look at it, Ms. Chaturvedi, there is this case of MNS and UBT now coming together. So they realize that when it is about emotive issues, this is one issue which can actually unite non-Marathis behind the Thakres.
No, again, the two brothers were on a stage for what purpose? They were on the stage for a purpose where the Bharatiya Janata Party, the Shah Sena, Amit Shah Sena, and the NCP Ajit Pawar had released a GR which was saying that Hindi as a third language would be compulsory from grade 1. The argument was that why should a language be made compulsory, and if Maharashtra is going to get Hindi as a compulsory third language, what are the states which are Hindi speaking have as their third language? And the Bharatiya Janata Party were pressurized not just by the political parties but also various people, various sections who were outraged about this. That imposing a language is not the right way of ensuring that people learn the language. Having said that, when the GR was taken back, that is when both brothers came on stage for that particular issue. And that particular issue has resonated across the length and breadth of the state. We are not against the language. Please understand, even I am Hindi speaking, not against the language. We have an entire Hindi film industry working out of Mumbai. We have an entire Hindi television industry working out of Mumbai. And like I quoted a figure, out of 12 crore people in the state of Maharashtra, over 1 crore come from various states which are Hindi speaking. Why is it that these one or two incidents vis-a-vis 1 crore people happily coexisting with the people of Maharashtra does not raise an eyebrow? So 1 or 2 incidents could also be due to a lot of provocation. Now please understand, even a BJP MP, sitting member of parliament from Jharkhand, is making extremely provocative statements about people of Maharashtra. And we've had a former MP of Bharatiya Janata Party who's also a very famous Bhojpuri actor who's again making provocative statements. So this hypocrisy that is coming from the BJP is something for them to address.
And your former MP calls, becomes a judge in his own party office after he summons two people and then allows one person to be slapped.
Again, let me also tell you, because again there's a narrative which was spread with regards to Mr. Vichare was absolutely incorrect. The person, this was a fallout of a fight that had happened between the shopkeeper and a party worker. He was a Shiv Sena UBT party worker. He was violently hit just because he was asking for a prepaid mobile connection.
Yes.
An FIR was filed by a lady who protected him at that point of time. And Mr. Vichare had only called these people to the office to ask them why did they hit the party worker. And that is when it escalated. It had nothing to do with language.
Okay.
It had nothing to do with, trying to impose something. It was trying to reconcile two sections which were fighting. But it's just that, unfortunately, that all television channels portrayed it in such a manner that it was about the language. Please understand, Mr. Vichare, and I have personally attended various events at Mr. Vichare's constituency, which has a large number of North Indian population.
Okay.
And I have attended those events and those rallies where he celebrates the diversity that is there in his particular constituency. So that is absolutely incorrect charge to make with regards to Mr. Vichare.
Okay.